So I just had a question, because you talk a lot about like protecting and securing our southern borders. But as the granddaughter of immigrants, I think that we get into a lot of complicated disputes with the idea that immigrants are criminals or drug dealers and things like that. So I just want to hear what your opinion is on those expectations or those, what do you call it, those stereotypes that are put on Hispanic communities, Latino communities, and how they change the way people perceive immigration.
Sure. So thank you for the question. So you said you're the first-generation student or first-generation American?
I'm a first-generation student.
Cool, great. Second-generation American? Did I hear that right?
Third-generation American on my mom's side.
Great.
Second on my dad's.
When your grandparents, then, is that right, came to this country, did they do so through the legal process that was in front of them?
So my father got married to my mother. So he's a legal resident of the United States. She's been here her entire life.
But did she enter legally? She did. She's born here. Yeah. Got it.
My grandpa on my dad's side entered in illegally.
Okay. So I'm not here to like insult your grandpa, right? But but we must be very clear that the type of immigration that we support is when you follow our rules and you come on our terms, and that you do not break into a country uninvited and you try to cut.
Can I add something to that? The reason why he left, and a lot of people in Mexico do, is because of the political state, especially in the 70s and 80s, when they decided to move. They have a government that isn't supportive of their constituents, and because of drug problems, their only choice was to move.
Yeah, I totally sympathize. That's not true. It's never the only choice to commit a crime, and we should not put up with it. And so it is an insult to other immigrants from Vietnam and Laos and Pakistan that have to wait decades in line to morally equivalate people that come in and just break in. Oh, I have an unstable country. Like half of the world's countries are unstable. So look, we just have to be very clear with this, is that if you come into the country uninvited, you have committed a crime and you are a criminal. And we could decide that we're not going to enforce our laws, or we can say that when you are a criminal, you should then be punished for that crime, aka sent back to your country of origin, because you were not invited. And it is an insult, again, to the Poles and to the Czechoslovakians and from the Senegalese and people all across the world that don't have the proximity or the luxury just to waltz into America.
You call it a luxury to leave a country that has political tyranny and come into a country with opportunity?
Yes, to live in Mexico, to be able to go 100 miles north and break into America. Do you know how many people in Pakistan would kill to be on that border?
That's why we bring them in.
Well, we shouldn't, right? That's the point. And secondly, do you think that you have a right to immigrate to America?
I think that I didn't have a choice. My grandparents made that decision for me.
And I'm not trying to attack your grandparents, but no one has a right to go to anybody else's country. You are invited. It is a privilege, not a right, to come into America.
So it's a privilege to live a life that requires you to have clean water, clean food, clean air.
Yes, of course it is.
And you have to fight for that?
Yes, it is not.
But we didn't?
Hold on a sec. Well,
born here, we didn't fight for that?
Well, my ancestors did fight for that, actually, and I'm a very thankful recipient of many generations of Americans that fought for the greatest nation ever to exist.
By doing what? Coming here?
Well,
illegally?
Wait, what did my ancestors do?
They came here illegally.
They came over here in 1620, fought in the Revolutionary War, fought in the Civil War, fought in World War I.
So because my grandpa didn't come here in 1620, it gives him no right to have a good life?
No, he can fill out paperwork and wait in line, like the rest of the world. And then we can see whether or not it's in our best interest to allow him to come in. And so we have to weigh costs and benefits. Do you think that the American government should first have an obligation to citizens before foreigners?
Okay, I think we have an
obligation.
Answer the question.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Yeah, we're obligated because we're citizens to have the rights that we have, but that doesn't mean we can't open up our borders when we have the process to do so.
You, being a younger American, and everyone in the audience, is the first generation in American history to have it be worse off than your parents. So the social, and you agree with that, social contract, poorer, more expensive. Yeah. So wouldn't it be rational for the American government to say, we're going to prioritize younger generation Americans that are American passport holders and citizens before those in another nation?
I don't want to say anything that offends people. But
I've
already said it, right? I've already said it. Whatever. I think that the way we're going about it is wrong. And that if we don't have a clear path to citizenship, we won't open up those opportunities for people to come and seek a good life. But I also think that, yeah, we are required to have those rights ourselves.
Seeking a good life is fine. It's a nice added benefit. Our government does not exist to improve the life of foreign citizens.
But we should be open to the idea of accepting that.
Of course we are, if we have our own house in order. We are in chaos right now. We have the most depressed, suicidal, anxious generation in history. Our birth rate is collapsing. Kids can't afford homes. Yeah. You guys are drowning in debt. You have to compete for jobs against foreigners. Our country is a mess right now. And so when your country is a mess and your home is in disarray and bedlam, your own government should say, time out. I have a heart for the people of Haiti. I have a heart for the people of every country. But you're not coming here until this generation at least has it as good as their parents. And that is a very simple moral statement. If when you bring people in, they make the life worse for the people that were already here, should we stop letting those people in?
Do they, though?
Yes, they do. Illegals every day are doing DUIs and kids are dying across the country.
But if Americans are doing this, it's fine?
Well, it's not fine. They should go to jail. But this is the red herring, is that Americans are invited guests. Foreigners are people that broke into the country that shouldn't be here, and none of those crimes should be happening at all. One of them is a crime of choice. The other is just a crime because that's part of what happens when you have a society. So when you have Americans that are murdered by illegals, that is because we have decided and chosen we're okay with them being here, and if they kill our people, no big deal.
I'm just trying to... I know we're not going to agree on
this.
It's fine. That's why I came up here in the first place. I knew you
Are you okay with deporting every illegal person that's here?
No.
Why?
Because there's some people here that are not represented well by the media. There's a lot of illegal immigrants here that are working their butts off for the life that they want.
I don't care if they're working hard. But the point is, what should the punishment be for breaking into a country?
Depends on the crime you commit after you break into it.
Okay, that's it. I'm talking about just the crime is breaking in. What should the punishment be? I break into somebody's home. What should their punishment be?
Can you repeat that?
Oh, so if you behave after you get here, that's fine. So to play that out, if someone comes into your dorm room uninvited and they do the dishes and laundry, they can stay?
If I'm not going to do my own dishes, heck yeah. They're doing my dishes for me? Cool. If they don't kill me, I'm not dead. It is what it is, man.
Well, they are killing a lot of Americans, but...
You say they. Like they are?
Yes,
like
they.
All illegal immigrants kill people? That's crazy.
Many illegals do, actually. No, but it's just interesting. The punishment for the crime of breaking into a nation should be what it is in Switzerland and Israel and Hungary. Every person who breaks into a nation uninvited goes back to their country of origin, period.
So why is there an emphasis on the southern border?
Because most people come illegally through the southern border.
The point I'm trying to make is that we categorize all illegal immigrants under the same thing. Sex traffickers, drug dealers.
Am I doing that?
And by you saying all illegal immigrants have to be deported, you're implying that all of them are doing these terrible things. And not a small percentage of them.
If you come into a country uninvited, definitionally you are a criminal.
We're just not going to agree.
It's fine. Then final question. What is a criminal?
What is a criminal?
No, what is it? Would you agree with the definition that a criminal is someone who breaks the law?
Here's where I'm thinking. Here's the thing. I know how he's going to turn it, and I don't fully agree.
It's not a matter of turning it. It's a very ABC sequence. If they're not criminals, then tell me what a criminal is. And a criminal is obviously someone who breaks the law. Someone who comes across the southern border broke federal law, therefore they are a criminal.
Okay, then we can just disagree.
Hi, my name's Erin. I'm a really big fan, and I'm really excited to see both of you. I'm a little stressed because I feel like I could ask about, gun violence. I could ask about anti-Semitism on campus. But I feel like with an opportunity like this, I would really appreciate some personal advice. I'm here at the University of Pittsburgh as a social work major, and I'm really passionate about it. I really just want to get your advice moving forward for myself. There's some obvious things I think you can think that would conflict for me as an aspiring social worker.
What would conflict?
I don't know how to say it properly.
I think I can help. The social work industry is very much about a perspective generally of that people in poverty are there permanently, and not trying to break people out of poverty into the middle class or higher levels.
Right.
They view poverty not as a series of choices, but as a station in life that is immovable, largely.
Right.
Is that fair to say?
That is fair to say. That's why my personal focus is on the children in underprivileged communities, because I personally feel like they don't choose to be put in that position. But I'm having a little bit of a difficult time empathizing with the older generation of underprivileged, and not in every community, but I don't know how to not sound bad. I know you are great at not sounding bad when you say stuff, but I don't want to say something that'll get me in trouble.
Well, here's one way to look at it. And Charlie, that was helpful, actually. The Great Society from Lyndon Johnson. It was a series of policies that were designed to help underprivileged communities.
Right.
They hurt the very people they were supposed to help.
How?
Well, the reality is it created dependence on government. So you have a lot of single mothers, for example, that are paid more money not to have a man in the house than to have a man in the house because of the way the math of these aid programs
What
work.
do you mean?
Well, often the way the math of the aid is calculated is if you have an earning husband in the household, that actually causes you to disqualify for forms of federal aid that were designed to help you.
Right.
But actually, the best way to get kids in your own household ahead is in a two-parent household, because if you're raised in a two-parent household, you're less likely to end up in jail, less likely to end up in poverty, more likely to graduate from high school. So one of the ways that, if you're asking for advice, I would say for the people around you, even who might lean left, you can recognize their intentions come from a good place.
Absolutely.
But the policies of their leaders have actually betrayed the very people they were supposed to help. And you can let them know, because I believe this is genuinely true. Not just the Republican Party, but our conservative movement. We care about lifting people up from poverty. We just care about actually doing it rather than talking about it. That's what I would say.
The other thing I'll say is that we as conservatives believe that if you're in poverty, it's largely because of values, not because of lack of stuff.
Like what values?
Not saving money. Spending all of your money in your paycheck as you get it, for example. Abandoning your spouse after impregnating them. Not spending all of your money on alcohol and drugs and instead opening a 401k. So values are the #1 predictor of entering the middle class. And there's a great book called Life at the Bottom. You should read it, by Theodore Dalrymple, who is a social worker in the United Kingdom. It's called Life at the Bottom, where he got into social work because he wanted to help people, and he realized it was not a lack of stuff. It wasn't lack of housing, lack of food stamps. It was that their value system was one that kept them poor. So yeah, really quick, then I want to get to the next question.
I'm just struggling because in all of my social work classes right now, they're talking about all of those things. And
they're wrong.
So what do I do? I'm trying to learn about what I want to do.
I think you need to stay in social work because you're called to do it, but there's an amazing amount of literature from Thomas Sowell to Shelby Steele to Theodore Dalrymple that get down to actual root causes of poverty, which is not lack of stuff, but is worldview. And I think that'd be super helpful.
Hello, Charlie.
Hello.
My name's Adam. So I want to ask you, what do you think about veganism? Vegetarianism.
I am not a fan of veganism, but you have a right to be vegan, obviously.
So let me clarify. Yeah. You on abortion, you support pretty much banning abortion in most situations.
Yes, but humans are not rabbits.
Yes. So
and humans are not deer, and humans are not cows.
Okay. So I want to ask you: do you think it's a little bit hypocritical that you oppose abortion, but you also oppose veganism? Most animals, most adult like cows, pigs, chickens, they're more intelligent than fetuses. And little children, small infants.
I can't believe I have to answer this. Can I answer?
Yeah. So how come you're saying that?
Can I answer?
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. If you leave a cow for 5 years, will the cow ever be able to talk?
No.
If you leave a fetus for 5 years, will the fetus be able to talk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, maybe.
So then which one has reason and a soul and can make sense of the natural world, aka an elevated being worthy of protection?
But that's
a cow or a human being?
That's not a good argument. That's like saying mute humans that are born that are without the ability to speak can't have rights.
It's not just about speaking, it's about reason. It's about having a soul. It's about being not an animal. What is a human being to you?
A human being is someone who has personality, and someone who can speak, and if you mean like biologically, like someone of...
No, just give me a definition of, you have a dog and a human being. How do you know which is which?
A human being can walk and talk and
well,
yeah.
A dog can walk.
Yeah. but I can't walk and talk. Sure.
Here's the difference. A human being can tell you the difference between right and wrong. An animal can only tell you the difference between pleasure and pain.
Yeah, but animals still suffer like human fetuses do.
But again, the moral worth of a human being is objectively different because we are able to make moral contentions, not just contentions based on how we feel. Animals can only feel. They cannot reason.
Yeah, but that's...
And therefore, we should be treated different morally. Now, from a typical Western religious view, we have souls as human beings, and animals do not. And as a soul, I mean not just in the religious sense, but I also mean that there is a part of you that is not just your 5 senses, right?
Okay, sure, well...
So for example, if you think you're only your 5 senses, which one of your 5 senses is telling you that?
Well, I don't know what you mean by 5 senses. You mean my brain?
Well, your 5 senses: sight, smell, taste, feel, hear. 5 senses. So an animal only has 5 senses. It does not have an ability to withdraw itself from its 5th sense, right?
Yeah, but how do you believe that it's okay to kill an animal when it's not okay to kill a child? You defend a child more. Some children die. Some children never make it out of the womb.
Well, because human beings are human. A is A, and human beings are worthy of protection, and animals are not humans, and they're not the moral equivalency, correct?
No, but I don't believe that. I'm not trying to argue that a human is worth more than an animal. I'm saying that even if a human is worth more than an animal, you should give animals respect.
I do give animals respect. We should treat them humanely. If you are to eat them, you should kill them in a way that does not have unjust suffering.
What about milk? But animals are all the time. Cows are to produce milk. Yeah, to produce milk, a cow has to be impregnated, and it's not like these farmers are waiting for the animal to get pregnant naturally. They have to be forcibly inseminated, which is a form of...
I actually think it's a great thing that we have dairy.
Okay, but I don't think that that drinking milk in and of itself is bad. But saying that animals can be is okay, that's beyond me.
You think that cows are being... I gotta be honest,
yes.
I've been doing this for 12 years, I've never heard that before.
Yes, but they are because they're not referred to as being they're said to be forcibly inseminated. How come that's okay, but keeping a small child is not?
I would not...
Yeah.
Welcome to Bull.
I don't support anyone.
I don't support human beings. I wouldn't call extracting milk from a cow the same as what happens if a woman is by some savage.
I'm not talking about extracting milk. I'm talking about when you inseminate a cow to get it pregnant so it can produce milk. Yes.
Yeah, not that worried about that.
Why not? Do you not think their suffering is worth anything?
I think their suffering's fine. Again, they're not human beings, and whatever allows the human being to flourish is what we should be concerned about. And I think it's a good thing that human beings are able to have meat, beef, and dairy, and so...
Okay, but
I appreciate exactly. Yeah, how many did the cows build the railroads? Like, I mean,
no, but you still have to treat them with respect. Kids don't build railroads, do they?
Yeah, but they grow up to adults. Yes, cows hit a plateau. I can't believe I have to explain this. Cows eventually plateau in their ability to reason.
I'm not talking about a plateau in ability. I'm talking about suffering at that moment.
Right.
Is it okay to... If you know a kid is never going to grow to adulthood, like if you had like a crystal ball or something, is that okay to kill them and rape them then?
No, of course not, because it's still a human being with a soul and a cow is not. But I just want to make sure we are consistent, just so we're consistent. Do you believe that we should limit the unjust suffering of insects?
Well, and I don't believe that, I don't believe in intentionally killing insects either.
So you don't believe that we should spray for mosquitoes even if they're carrying diseases that kill humans?
If they're threatening me, then it's self-defense.
Oh, okay, got it.
But a cow didn't do anything. A cow was innocent.
But what if the cow is feeding me a human being?
But you can get nutrients. The World Health Organization has already said that a vegan diet is completely healthy for all ages.
We need to get testosterone rates up, not down, and you do that by eating meat and not eating soybeans.
No, but you can get all of your protein. You can get nutrients all from a plant-based diet.
Okay.
Yes, you can. Look it up.
Let me just say one final thing. Do you consider yourself a liberal or?
I can. Well, it depends on the issue, but like say abortion, like I'd say I'm moderate.
Okay, so
because
I believe in human choice.
Yeah. Well, generally, like I don't believe in my body, my choice. Generally speaking, but it depends.
Okay.
Depends on each individual.
Can I have the right to eat a steak?
You have the right to eat a steak? No, because that involves the suffering of an animal, of an innocent life.
and the American left wonders why they're losing young men. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
No, but okay.
Thank you. That was really something, guys, wasn't it? Keep steak legal will be my new T-shirt, right? Right, Mitchell? Is that something else?